This is a live severe weather briefing, May 2nd, 8:25 p.m. We have several severe storms and across sections of Mississippi. We also got that cluster out in Kansas. Still trying to get a hold of the latest developments here, but we've been keeping a very close eye on this particular corridor right here that I'm highlighting with my cursor. I'm going to try and zoom in here, try and get some of the latest reports. Obviously, we've had a report of a large wedge tornado that tracked through South Jackson towards Yazoo City. We've had reports of barn damaged and lots of trees down. Presumably, we've had storm trackers correspondents have reported to us a wedge tornado has tracked through the South Jackson area, also Yazoo City, a report of a tornado there. Again, just tracking some of the latest developments with these particular cells. Again, we're going to keep a close eye on some of the damage reports. I'll show you some of the, I'll try and fetch the ones from earlier. But again, still keeping a very close eye on the situation as it develops here. Still several confirmed reports of tornadoes. I believe we do have tornadoes in progress at this time. A pretty healthy couplet with this one and Kosciuszko that is going to be tracking into Winston County and eventually Choctaw County. That's over Atala County right now. And I'm gonna kind of get this from a different perspective here. Probably the Columbus radar. That's probably going to give us a better idea of these northern cells here. Still pretty decent rotation with a lot of these cells here. Kind of a broader rotation with that cell, but reports of tornadoes confirmed. Latest report confirmed tornado near Eupora, still radar confirmed. I'm going to try and get a, oops, I hit the wrong product there. This is our debris tracker. Still, I think that is, I'm going to kind of get a few scans before this one, but that might be a possible debris signature I've outlined there near Webster. And lots of these tornadoes have been radar confirmed. You get the blues surrounded by greens and reds and such. And again, just given the hook and the you can definitely tell that, again, they're pretty tight rotation there near Stewart. And again, report a lot. You can see these bold purple polygons. These are tornado warnings for tornadoes that are reported on the ground. These are not radar indicated. These are not just radar indicated. There is reports of damage with these cells as they continue to progress across sections of central and east Mississippi there. Looks like the Madison, Rankin County warning has been dropped or allowed to expire. Looks like from the perspective of the Columbus Air Force Base radar, looks like the storm has kind of weakened. But I do think the corridor that's most favorable for tornado development here over the short term would be up here. Looks like that these two warnings are based off of the same cell. You definitely still got some tight rotation with that one that will eventually be tracking. Again, this will be tracking through much of Waltall County, and we still got this northern cell here in Calhoun County. There's still some pretty decent rotation with those. So we're going to keep a very close eye on those as we continue to keep an eye on things here. Also, keeping an eye on these some of these storms here in Kansas. Various reports of wind damage with these storms, gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour, potentially widespread severe winds. Look at the scope of these warnings. You got warnings all across the width of Kansas, from the Nebraska border to the Oklahoma border. Pretty much every county from Nebraska to Oklahoma is warned. And again, it's these complex of storms that are particularly concerning here. We've had lots of reports of wind damage, actually a report of a dust storm here. We got plenty of loose topsoil there. It's much drier. It's been much drier. The soils obviously are not saturated, so you probably got some blowing dust concerns. And again, this is due to outflow from thunderstorms. Again, it's the winds that are picking up quite a bit of loose soil. Again, just saying, again, you'll likely see some lower visibilities with these storms as well. But I do think you've got, just looking at the radar here, you do have some pretty nasty bowing segments here. I think we got a little bit of a mesocyclone there. We got plenty of these storms have rotating updrafts, so I do think hail is probably going to be an issue at times as well, especially on the southern flank of that activity as it continues to track across southwest and further into central Kansas. This is where I do think you got more elevated instability to work with. It's going to help, and obviously it's going to help drive storms upscale. And again, I do think that, especially with these southern cells here, these are trying to cycle out here. I do not necessarily know if there's really that much instability to work with at the ground, but we will not rule out. I do think the tornado risk here in parts of Kansas is it's pretty low. And I will see, this is a velocity product. This is a reflectivity product. Looks like we got a little bit of a hail core with that one, but we can definitely tell that there's a little bit of a bow echo with this cell that'll eventually be tracking through Haskell County, just south of Garden City. And that will eventually be making its way into Clay County here pretty soon. The way this is tracking, this will eventually track into the Dodge City area probably within the next hour and a half. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. The wind's several thousand feet off the ground with this. Obviously, we can tell just right there, I do think where there's a tight gradient there in velocity, that's where you do have you got your boundary layer winds several thousand feet off the ground that are mixing in. We're indicating at least 50 mile per hour winds further aloft that'll mix down at the ground there. And again, it's a lot of this thunderstorm outflow. We do have some, and I'm going to look at the observations out ahead of this because it's very possible that, again, just I want to see what the environment is ahead of these storms. If we have more instability and such to work with, that's going to help this complex hold together as it tracks across the rest of Kansas. But I will point out the highest severe threat is underway right now over the next several hours. And we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for sections of Kansas that will last into the evening hours. And I'm going to pull up my place file information here, kind of give me an idea where this watch is in effect right now. So I have it highlighted in purple. I'm going to zoom out a little. So this is western Kansas into sections of Nebraska. And we actually had a tornado report. Looks like a land spout tornado. So interesting to see these land spout tornado reports coming in here. So a land spout, that's where you don't necessarily have it's rotation from the ground up. It's not from a mesocyclone. There's not really rotation at the base. It's rotation from the ground up. That's what we call a land spout, kind of similar to a water spout, because a water spout forms over water where it's warm. You got warm waters and you got a little cool pocket within there in the ground, and that helps you get rising air, and then that generally under ideal conditions will create your water spouts. So kind of interesting to see the reports out here. And again, while there aren't really too many of us watching our live feed here from parts of Kansas, but I do want to kind of point out here, and we want to see how these storms do hold together, because we're likely talking about somewhat broader impacts tomorrow as well. So we want to definitely see how this is pretty much the same complex of storms that'll track through sections of further into the Midwest, potentially the Ohio Valley, into tomorrow as well. So we're going to keep a really close eye on this. I am going to, if you give me 1 second, I'm going to share the stream link to some of our correspondents here. And I'm going to pull up the Storm Prediction Center here, as I promised earlier, try and see if we do have any other official damage reports from some of these cells here. But yes, again, just definitely looking at that complex of storms over Kansas, something that I would definitely keep a very close eye on here. Because again, if we have, I'm going to see what the observations are and such out ahead of these. I'm going to see what the damage reports are. With this complex of storms in particular, just a history of what we've been seeing here. Quite a bit of wind reports, several hail reports. We've had actually 2 separate tornado reports, or actually 8 overall, including the ones in Mississippi.
Wow.
I'm going to kind of filter it out because we're kind of fetching some information here about this cluster here across sections of Kansas. We do have reports of blowing dust out of Kansas because we have loose topsoil, probably into Colorado as well, because again, it tends to be a lot drier there over the course of the year because you don't have the Gulf of Mexico as a common source of moisture for areas in the high plains. So generally, when you see thunderstorm outflow, it topples loose topsoil.
Yeah, Isaac, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we have a large and extremely dangerous tornado down here in Memphis.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks to be recycling. We've had, I think, the Calhoun City, still some pretty decent rotation with it. We've been following it for some time. Looking at the pretty good debris signature. Yeah, debris signature over Calhoun City. Looks like it may, the debris signature, not saying the tornado itself. I do think the debris signature here is probably a little over a half-mile wide.
Wow.
I'm just inferring. I'm just inferring at this point, but looking at what we're seeing here on radar, it looks like Calhoun City might have took a direct hit from a probably half-mile wide or so tornado, and we've been seeing quite a few of these wedge tornado reports.
I've been tracking
including
that
one in
earlier.
Yazoo City. I've been trying to see if we had any other reports from that one, but like I said, or I think AST or some of our correspondent groups, I saw you had a photo there from earlier, and and like I say here, again, I do think the environment's favorable here. Looking at the velocity data, I'm going to see what the winds are several thousand feet off the ground. Pretty impressive velocity here.
Here's the
or
text.
At least the wind shear. Yeah, what?
Here's the text on the tornado. At 8:34, a confirmed and large, extremely dangerous tornado is located over DERM.
It's Derma. I was going to say train
16
spotter
miles.
reported damage in Calhoun City. Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, thank you. And
half
a
mile.
minute.
Yeah, I was going to say tracking northeast, 25 mile per hour. This will, like I said, Calhoun City. This is a developing situation. A tornado is likely still ongoing.
To be shelter.
Okay, I will. Okay, again, they're using that PDS wording as a enhancement there because we've had spotter reports of again, just look from the radar perspective of things. I do. There is indication of debris, and it looks like it was right on top of Calhoun City. And again, this is a developing situation. We'll have more reports from there. But it looks like the way things are tracking with that cell, it is going to be tracking through sections of eastern parts of Calhoun towards Chickasaw and Pontotoc County into southern sections of Pontotoc County here fairly soon. And once again, the way things are tracking there, looks like it'll be near New Haluka, the area of rotation, this particular cell, over the next, that'll be over the next 15 minutes to half hour or so. But once again, here, Weather Service again has lots of smaller localities included here, like Houston, Calhoun City, yada yada yada, Slate Springs, Atlanta, Mississippi. Oh, this would be near the Slate Spring, Wallfield area. I was going to say considerable tornado damage threat. That's what it's all based on there. See if there's any other information there from. I was going to say a lot of what we're seeing in this particular warning is from spotter perspective. So I will point out with the debris signature we've seen on Doppler radar there, Calhoun City looks like Calhoun City, Mississippi took a direct hit from a tornado developing situation there. Looks like the threat has passed for you folks in Calhoun City proper. Just the rest of Calhoun, Chickasaw, and Pontotoc County should definitely be on remain alert there. Also, folks in Tupelo, south of there, in Lee County, Mississippi, should also remain on alert. We do have a couplet here. It looks like
No,
there's.
I've got a report for you. A report of trees down and power lines down just outside of Calhoun City. Rotating notion surface winds appears up to 60.
Okay, so 60 mile per hour gusts. That might have been RFD. Again, the gust from there. Yeah, it just popped up there. Rotation noted and surface winds. I was going to say that's if that was on the back end there after the damage occurred. Again, that's that. If that was inflow winds feeding into the storm itself, which I do think that it's coupling in at the ground, but what I'm looking at here is winds several thousand feet off the ground, the product here on velocity here. But you can definitely tell, again, it's just the wind shear that I'm a little concerned about. Because, again, the turning with height several thousand feet off the ground, you got those winds that are forced down, but it's also you got some of these stronger winds on velocities that are picking up. But also, do note, I do think the rotation's not as apparent as this particular scan from a while back. You can definitely note that we have 50 inbound against 10. So that's near 60. That is 60 mile per hour shear with that couplet, and that was likely. You get that shear. You got those winds mixed down at the ground. We had those gusts near 60, so that could have been RFD. But it is very possible. Again, not really much of an indication here on radar whether that was inflow feeding into the storm. Because if that was feeding into the storm, it was probably looks like the wind several thousand feet off the ground. Looks like the couplet has weakened with that. The rotation is considerably weakened with the newest scan here that we're seeing there. But again, we're keeping a close eye on some of these developments with all this here. But I also do want to kind of point out again the storm.
More wind shear starting to form again, Isaac.
Yeah, and I believe they just added this enhanced risk. Correct me if I'm wrong. This wasn't. I didn't see this earlier. Maybe I do think as this line of storms, or rather this area of convection that's billowing down here, we do have some wind shear out ahead of this. So I do think as some of these other storms that might potentially be developing here further downstream here, we do have that potential there. We may have some
I don't see enhanced risk on it.
On my end. Again, on my end here, I do assume. I think this was their latest day one outlook that they might have added a enhanced. Otherwise, they just it has probably just been formally introduced. And once again, this is a developing situation. Calhoun City will keep an eye on some of those reports, but I do think that the enhanced risk here. I wonder if they added the tornado probabilities to it because
severe thunderstorm watch to midnight.
Yeah, I was going to say they probably added the new watch. This might be up towards Kansas. I do.
Yeah, I was gonna get you some information on that, Isaac. Gusts could be up to 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say we've had a couple of. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if we had any official reports of winds over hurricane force, but I do think that the storms are now the storms in Kansas, the complexes in Kansas is now tracking into an environment that I do think you do have more. You do more have effective wind shear overall to work with. This isn't like confined to low level shear, of
Is
course.
that complex
This
coming to Illinois tomorrow morning?
well, this is the same like complex of storms, like on a broader scale. We want to keep a close eye on what happens tonight here. We'll definitely be waking up to all that. So there's going to be the morning round of storms. We do have. I'm going to get a national radar. See if I can get something on there, kind of to show you what we got on a broad scale here.
We need to be
Um,
talking about tomorrow's too, Isaac. That's
yeah, of
another
course.
concern.
I do think that we want to see how the storms behave tonight. We'll get some high res guidance here going soon.
Here, I'm
But
gonna tag my. I'm gonna put
yeah,
Illinois storm watch in now since we're
well,
talking about.
okay, we'll get there soon. But like I said, you can see this morning round of storms there.
Yeah,
Well, actually, we do have showers and thunderstorms. A couple of thunderstorms, mostly showers. I think we got a warm front. You can see how, or at least it's. I was going to say it's drier and around here. I do think we have obviously more low level moisture here uh, billowing in with this system here. See, this is this is what we'll eventually see. This warm front that will loft north there. That'll usher in more moisture, and our dew points will definitely rise. Will definitely be more humid there in the morning. We'll be waking up to a lot of this rain activity here locally. You may have some light rain ongoing here, maybe a few embedded thunderstorms there, but I do note that behind all this, it's bringing in all that low level moisture there, and we have that surface instability that's really helping drive our thunderstorm or our tornado situation there in Mississippi. Because when you get surface based convection and you got back to low level winds, and again, just the low level shear and everything looks pretty impressive there over sections of Mississippi there. I'm going to eventually kind of analyze some of the sounding data here, see how that has been going here. But what I'm more concerned about is these particular cells that'll eventually track well into eastern Mississippi and Alabama. I do think that the tornado risk will potentially persist into late evening. The initial tornado watch is in effect until 10 p.m. They may give it on a local level, they may give it a little bit of a time extension. Not really sure there. But I do think this is the thunderstorms that I'm particularly more concerned about, because this complex of storms will eventually track over sections of Missouri and Illinois and Iowa late. We have this, or actually, we do have another round of storms that will develop downstream that will impact through Tuesday morning for areas further south. This particular, we'll have another round of storms track through Iowa, northern Illinois, and I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of a better idea of what we're talking about here. So you can see the northern extent of that slight risk, Peoria, also a lower severe risk, also towards Chicago. This is where we're working with a little bit more surface cape as well, but I do think we'll be dealing with an initial round of storms there over the course of the afternoon into the evening hours across northern Illinois, and then we'll have the southern MCS that'll likely track through like more southern reaches of Illinois, Missouri, of course, later in the evening, into the overnight hours, potentially into Tuesday morning. And I do, like I said, I think the wind probabilities may be reevaluated with some of these later outlooks. But
Okay.
so we do have quite a bit of boundary layer capes to work with down here, where they have these significant hatched areas. And what we mean by those is there's a potential not only for large hail, for example. There's a potential for maybe 2-inch in diameter hail with some of those more discrete,
Gosh.
with those more discrete cells that are embedded within the particular structures that you're likely going to end up seeing with that mesoscale convective system. And again, this could be on a little bit of a broader, not synoptic scale, but more like a mesoscale there, where you're likely working with some embedded cells, but you're likely working with complex or rather the structure that you'll likely see with some of these particular storms tracking through, again, sections of Arkansas, Missouri, and it'll likely hold together into Illinois
Yeah.
and Kentucky, Southwest Indiana.
Yeah, Isaac, we got some
Yeah,
lots
well,
of wind.
here we'll catch up to those, but I do think the situation for tomorrow, you're likely going to see a southern MCS that'll propagate during the evening. And again, what we mean by that is you're likely seeing some convective development that will occur during the peak daytime heating when you're over the sections of the plains, even Oklahoma. That's where we're likely going to see that southern wave of storms. We'll have that round of storms ongoing during the afternoon and evening across farther north. But again, we'll have that southern MCS that'll propagate, and that will eventually you're working with a tighter pressure gradient and such further aloft near the boundary layer and such.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna
that'll
pass
help
them
kind
in.
of let things bow out because you have more wind
Yeah.
shear. And you'll likely see some stronger damaging, or you'll likely see a higher damaging wind threat because it bows out essentially, and it may hold together for some time. Not
Yeah, I'm
necessarily
gonna.
that we're gonna. Well, again, most of this area will at least see maybe some damage reports or gusts over 58 miles per hour at times along that leading edge of the bow. And again, more embedded bowing structures, but you could get more intense reports of gusts, maybe 70, maybe locally 80 miles per hour with that at times as well. But again, we'll also see we got more boundary layer capes to work with too. And I do think further west over sections of Missouri, Arkansas, maybe sections of like Illinois as well initially as well during the later into the nighttime hours potentially as well. I do think you may have the risk for maybe golf balls or something hail as well, because I do think you'll still have that boundary layer cape and maybe those steeper lapse rates to work with. We'll have to pay close attention to that. But again,
Oh
this is a
yeah.
developing situation we'll keep a close eye on tomorrow.
Hey, I was gonna make some updates, Isaac, on here real quick.
Yeah.
I was gonna say on here, I just seen on Channel 6 tonight. There was, and even Noah, he's a meteorologist on there. He did say there could be an upgrade to it, enhanced, or even a moderate risk.
Well, I will point out what the media coverage is on this. Obviously, nothing directly per Storm Prediction Center that they are hinting at upgrades and probabilities to anything like at least to moderate or something right away. I do think that requires a thorough review. See, of like that wind shear and everything does trend upward. So what I do think that we'll likely end up seeing, at least, I think there will be adjustment to the wind probabilities at the very least. I will not rule out the possibility of seeing a initial enhanced risk because I do think that we're likely seeing that complex. We'll watch that southern MCS very closely as it evolves during the day over sections of Oklahoma. But I will also point out again, we want to see what the mesoscale conditions are tomorrow. Like obviously those are the conditions. We'll have to analyze that closely. Like the RAP, some of the really near-term guidance there, the high-resolution guidance there, that not just the runs themselves, but how it trends. Because if we're likely dealing with much stronger effective wind shear, propagate with that mesoscale convective system, and it has more, so like let's just say there's an unlikely scenario it does bow out. You got those intense structures, but then the wind shear and everything really tightens up further aloft, and you're likely talking much stronger winds further aloft feeding into the MCS. And again, just a closed upper low forms. And again, you got lots of sinking air to work with. And then you also got really strong instability further aloft. That would be a situation where you'll likely see something more synoptic scale for like a derecho, for example. That's not what we're expecting by any means, but there's that would be an unlikely scenario that pans out. You get a closed upper low that forms on the back end of the mesoscale convective system. But again, like I said, the southern MCS, that will be something that we'll have to watch during the evolution of the day. Again, I will not rule out maybe reports of isolated significant gusts, but I'm not expecting widespread hurricane force winds with this particular complex tracking across sections of Missouri, Arkansas, and Illinois. Again, at least not widespread reports of hurricane force gusts, maybe isolated, more locally gusts in excess of there. And again, the more intense bowing structures, you may get maybe some isolated significant gusts with that complex for tomorrow. And if you will allow me, I'm going to switch back. I'm gonna show you some of the high res guidance here. I'm interested in seeing the 18Z run from earlier. And again,
Okay.
I want to kind of go more of an explicit mode here. If the structure really does hold together into early Tuesday morning with the thunderstorms that we'll have to watch out for really closely here Monday night, of course, at southern MCS, because we're mostly talking about, again, the Ozarks, Missouri, and Arkansas into Illinois, obviously eastern Oklahoma as well, being that particular concern with that southern mesoscale convective system. And I'm gonna kind of get this more into detail. Obviously, we have the storms we're working with tonight. This will be the same complex of storms. And what I mean by complex is it's a complex. So you have some thunderstorms all the way up here. You got a different system you got a different mesoscale system up here and another mesoscale system down here, but it's a complex of storms. So like it's complex. That's what we mean by complex. And obviously obviously you don't have as many showers and storms. You got some obviously that instability and weak instability and lift there, but really what you're lacking there in the morning hours is moisture. So we're obviously not going to be waking up to widespread showers and storms, maybe a couple showers and storms across sections of Iowa and sections of northern Missouri into Minnesota potentially, but we're going to likely see things as it evolves, because as the dew points and temperatures rise during the course of the morning, bam, then you're looking at around as thunderstorms tomorrow there from eastern Iowa. I do think that's where there is a potential for maybe a few severe storms as early as the afternoon hours on Monday or tomorrow afternoon, of course. And then we're going to watch this northern system here pretty closely there. I do think that there is a lower severe potential there as you're working into the late afternoon hours and early into the evening hours as well across Illinois towards obviously the Wisconsin border. Maybe you'll be dealing with more isolated severe storms. But I do think that you got that outward propagation. Some of these Boeing segments, maybe some supercell some supercell structures that may be noted here over sections of central Illinois. Obviously, there's a low tornado risk with this initial round of storms. Again, I'll stress it's a lower tornado risk than what we may end up seeing later in the day further south. And again, you do have some surface capes to work with. But the real question is, I'm seeing the vectors there, the 0 to 1 kilometer SRH. While that may be sufficient for maybe isolated tornadoes, you can see the dew points kind of hovering in the 60s. You got a little bit of a weak capping inversion. So that may inhibit at times your surface-based cape. And when you get those cool pockets, you get colder temperatures that mix in around here, and then the surface and everything's just right. That could easily erode. You may get a couple tornado reports. Would not be surprising. Maybe across, more isolated tornado reports across central Illinois, probably latter tomorrow afternoon. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. But I do think damaging winds will probably be your biggest risk. You can see the outward propagation there, the Boeing segments that you'll be looking at with that system of but it's not as well organized, the outward propagation that you're seeing. So maybe more isolated reports of damage, maybe an initial hail risk as well. It wouldn't be surprising as well. But you can see, like, just watch as these storms evolve out of eastern Oklahoma there in the evening hours. You can see you got that outflow boundary stretching well into Missouri, into Oklahoma there, and that's further aloft. So you're probably not seeing, obviously this is 0 to 1 kilometer explicit convective product, so you're obviously not seeing it well down here. But go over the next few hours, see those storms develop rapidly. And obviously you got the low pressure system within here. And look how it really quickly organizes, and you got that outward propagation there. But I will point out the UH-75, which is outlined in some of these. I do think the darker reds, it's more embedded. Some of those tracks within there, you may get, and maybe I do think this is probably the area of concern that I'm kind of outlining there, where you'll see your initial tornado threat with that cluster. I do think the threat is mostly on the account of, I think you'll get some, I do think some initial discrete supercell structures within that complex, and likely that would give way to potential for, again, your large to potentially destructive hail in excess, maybe over 2 inches in diameter with that afternoon round. And we're also potentially going to be talking some significant wind reports probably, but I do think your tornado risk will probably be highest with this particular cluster as it tracks through southern Missouri and Arkansas. What I mean by that is especially over further into Missouri and Arkansas, into Illinois, maybe a tidbit of Kentucky there. But if it does hold together, that's what I mean there. But I do think southern Missouri, northern Arkansas is probably where you're going to find your maximized tornado potential within there. And yeah, that is a surface to 3 kilometer SRA. Wow. That's pretty modest there. A pretty good indication that you have some pretty good low-level directional shear. I do think that at times you got maybe some weak capping there along that. If you have too much of a window where the cap's eroded, that means you got more organized air parcels that rise all over the place. If it's confined to just ahead, I do think this sounding here kind of pinpoints it very good, where the cap erodes, where you're seeing these, where you're seeing all this sinking cold air, cooler air that mixes in at the surface, where you got more coupling, and the wind shear and everything looks prolific here. And I do think this is where you're seeing your maximized tornado potential. And but I do want to say a limiting factor there is also like the turning with height. Um, and again, I do think this will be more of a spin up tornado situation. It's not going to be a tornado
Mm-hmm.
outbreak by any means
No,
because
I
you're
don't think
likely
so.
working with, you can see the, so this would be the omega, or yeah, I was going to say that's equilibrium. The omegas there, that's an indication there where yeah, you got the steeper lapse rates there, the stronger winds from further aloft. You got some really strong winds up here further aloft there. Yeah, I was going to say those must be the contours for the winds. And I will say there, yeah, the wind barbs there are showing at least. I think you got storm force gusts at 3 kilometers there. And again, that's all out of the southwest. You can see that intense turning with height, but that's within more of a surface to 3 kilometer vector there. So I don't think your low level shears are going to prompt like a huge a tornado issue, but I do think that we will have a tornado issue that will bear watching here tomorrow. And the
Oh,
surface doesn't appear that capped. You got, and again, you got those stronger winds, that sinking air on the back end that'll propagate with that Boeing structure there. You'll likely end up seeing some significant wind gusts, nevertheless, with this particular complex of storms as it tracks over sections of Missouri and northern
yeah, we
Arkansas.
got a lot of reports of this storms out here in Kansas now.
Yeah, we'll get there. And like I said, we also may have a separate round of storms on the back end as well. So we may get multiple training reports of severe storms with this. But I think more than likely the window where you're seeing the highest wind potential there, you'll likely see a good squall line on the back end of that of this as well. You note those isolated supercell structures, but then you got the central low pressure right there. You got a big squall line there tracking through Arkansas and will eventually make its way into Missouri, rather, and will eventually gust out and congeal with this ongoing activity there, and maybe a few wind reports with that activity in the morning, but you have less instability to work with on the back end. But do note further ahead, just right along the Ohio River, this is into like closer to 7 a.m., the wake up call there. You will probably be dealing with a couple of severe storms there towards the lower Ohio, the Boot Heel of Missouri, towards maybe the Paducah, Cairo area. We'll probably be waking up to some potential strong thunderstorms. And I do think that there may be a limited tornado potential with these. But again, still, I do think that damaging winds will be your biggest concern with this activity. Give us 1 second. All right. Whoops. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, your tornado threat is there, but you got a little bit more capping and less instability to work with. So if anything, we want to see if the mesoscale convective system does hold together. We'll probably get some isolated significant gusts there with that as we head into the day. But yeah, you had some reports to pass along to us, JD.
Well, I was just gonna let you know that there's looking up the map here at quick and let you know what we have in place. We do have we'll start over here. Gust. We had one report out here of the gust up at 50 miles an hour. Then we had a report over here of this Kansas event up to 50 to 60. You know, and there's just getting a lot of flooding. There's even a report of 70 miles of gust.
Yeah, I was
No,
going to say we've had
there's
occasional reports of
72.
yeah, I was going to say official, probably again observation equipment, probably getting
Yeah.
hold of some of those. I do think again, just looking at what we have going on here with this activity as it tracks through Kansas. This is again, like I said, the same complex of storms we will likely be dealing with into tomorrow, further into the Midwest. but this is over the plains. So we're definitely interested in seeing some of the reports coming out of there. Obviously, a lot of the warnings we're seeing, looks like the warnings further downstream for the most part have expired. Still some thunderstorms that'll probably produce some gusty winds towards Dodge City. But further up here, this is where you got more outflow to work with. And yeah, we've seen some isolated significant downburst gusts in excess of 72 miles per hour. And again, this is out of Norton, Kansas there. And again, just along this the lead edge of this. Yeah, I was going to say, this is probably further towards the actual line of storms itself. But again, like I said, the wind's several thousand feet off the ground there. Looks like the velocity data is still quite a bit of wind shear to work with. So I do think that we'll probably still see some damaging wind reports to look into here heading later into the day there. Oh, this would be the day 2. I'm going to see what the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook is real quick. But I do assume, I was going to say they added the enhanced, if I'm not mistaken there, or they've adjusted the tornado probabilities with the storms down in Mississippi. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But yeah, obviously we still got the hatched area for wind. So I do think there will be some isolated significant gusts as that complex makes its way into central Kansas there. This would likely be right along the I-35 corridor, heading towards, that would be, I was going to say, looks like towards Salina, Kansas, along the Interstate 35 corridor, more than likely. And we also have some warnings up here in eastern Nebraska there. Looks like further aloft, I do think there's a little bit of forcing there, some updrafts capable of producing some hail. And I do think that is the basis of this warning. Quarter-sized hail report from train spotters out here. Quarters, hail to the size of quarters here being reported. I was going to say some higher reflectivity there, indicating some hail cores within there. So this is over Burt County in Nebraska into sections of Colfax, Platte, and Butler counties. Also, another cell capable of hail. Also, some wind gusts towards Seward, Butler counties, Nebraska there. But I do think the main severe risk would be further downstream across Nebraska into Kansas. Also, note some flooding reports here out of just south of Kearney towards Kennesaw, south of Kearney there from Adams, Kearney, and Phelps County area. Some flooding ongoing, also down towards Stockton, Kansas. Likely when we're dealing with intense rainfall in excess of 4 inches, the soil will saturate quickly. And more than likely, what we're going to be dealing with there is a lot of the storm, the drainage systems probably won't be able to handle it. So you'll likely deal with some urban flooding. You may deal with some urban flooding, but also the terrain.
New tornado warning now.
Yeah, I was going to say over sections of Mississippi, we've been. I was going to see how it just popped up again. That storm looks like it's holding together into sections of Lee and Pontotoc counties. But I will point out. Again, just with a lot of what we've been seeing here, we'll likely end up seeing, some reports of flash flooding as well. Again, just over the terrain out there. Keeping a close eye on this storm. Looks like it has a good chance of holding together there. Looks like it's starting to recycle a bit. That couplet there. Like I said, that is going to be right on top of New Holcomb, Mississippi. No spotter confirmation of a tornado in progress, but definitely some rotation tightening up. That'll be right on top of New Holcomb. But looks like Tupelo proper is included in this warning. So this has a very good chance.
Isaac, I got a picture I can show you. I found online. I got a picture I could show you of the tornado in Mississippi earlier. I found on Facebook.
Yeah, that was I believe that was out of Yazoo City. That was several hours ago. I think that's with the same cell that's eventually going to make its way into Andawanaba and Lee counties. Or no, that's probably a cell that is dissipated further downstream. But you can definitely
Wow.
tell the tornado at the ground there. I do think that's close to. I think that's a wedge there. It's well, from the ground perspective, yeah, I was going to say the actual funnel is wider than it is tall. So that is a wedge that you saw with that. Again, just you can tell just the structure of that. Again, just look how wide that tornado is. Generally, the wedge tornadoes are much worse than like your little rope tornadoes because again they're encompassing a larger area. And again, I do think the Calhoun City also took a direct hit from a tornado potentially earlier. We're going to keep a really close eye on some of the damage reports out of that area. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna pull up the Jackson feed here. Yeah, I was going to say also.
Yeah, I just got some more video on my phone, Isaac. So I sent it to your messenger.
Okay, yeah. Again, we've been getting quite many different reports there, and again, we hope that everyone's taken the time to be safe and know where to go if.
And thanks for the
storms may
pictures also
potentially
too. We
impact.
appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Send us pictures if you have anything. Yeah, I was gonna say beginning stage. Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of times, a lot of what we're gonna see develops really quickly here.
You're
And
not going to have time to wait, folks. You got to book it up and figure out where you're going to go. I think the trouble is going to be tomorrow night when these storms happen. Is people are not going to take severe thunderstorm warnings very seriously.
Yeah, right. And like I said, the rotation is real. Again, again, not saying the way that's the way it is now, but over Yazoo City, Mississippi, I could tell that we've seen some really strong rotation with some of these. Again, just the base of the storm, when you see it rotating all rapidly, you got those strong RFD winds, and it mixes and it couples in with that inflow. Then you're likely dealing with really strong circulation there, and it produces a tornado really quickly. This cell here, I'm going to put it in motion here. Notice how it tries, or I'm going to download some additional frames there. But yeah, notice how it might be trying to recycle there. Rotation might be getting a little bit tighter. Or you're getting some stronger outbounds with that, or maybe slightly stronger there. So this couplet has a decent shot of holding together. So the Tupelo area in Mississippi should be taking tornado precautions now because this is a good chance the rotation may hold up into parts of Tupelo. Or the rest of Pontotoc and Lee County in Mississippi there. Looks like the rotation now is right on the
Look at
Chickasaw
this.
Pontotoc County border. And oh yeah, is that a picture out of Yazoo City or
Let me check here, Isaac. Let me check and see what that is.
yeah,
Let me back
yeah,
out here and take a look here.
yeah,
This would be in, yeah, the same spot. Folks,
yeah,
that is
yeah,
a damaging tornado. That is a
yeah,
large tornado there.
we've had plenty of chaser reports out of that area. I'm not sure if Yazoo City proper took a direct hit from that, but I don't know if we should. Yeah, and again, all credit from Facebook pages go to their respective owners.
I'm
By
sorry
the
about
way,
that.
no, that's fine. I just want to make sure that again, if we have anything submitted to us, we'll share it. But again, just the situation at Yazoo City. Again, I'm not sure if Yazoo City proper did take a direct hit from that particular tornado, but there are reports of damage out of that area. And again, a wedge tornado was in progress there. But I'm definitely concerned for the folks here in Tupelo here because this is a slightly more populated area that this intense couplet will be making its way into. And I'm going to kind of track the velocities here, kind of go towards some. I'm going to see if I can get more frames here on my radar scope on my phone here, get my inspector tool. I do think that this couplet here has a very good chance of holding together. Here we got 38 inbound against 32 outbound. So I do think the gate-to-gate shear, 49 outbound there. So I do think the gate-to-gate shear is in excess of 70 knots. And maybe a little bit higher with that couplet, and it's really starting to tighten up over this one area here. I'm going to highlight it with my cursor. At least 60 to maybe 70 knots shear with that couplet, just right there. And you can look at that backwards C couplet there. You're seeing some inflow coupling in. So I do think this is the potentially what could be the early stages of a tornado. That might be in progress. I wonder if there's a debris signature with that. I'm not, again, nothing confirmed on the ground. And I'm not sure if I'm mistaken or not, but we've had a couple of land spout reports, so that's probably up in Kansas. But we've had that debris signature over Calhoun City, and that was really not much of a debris signature on radar, but still, spotters have reported a tornado in that area, and there was not really much of a there was a weak debris signature on radar. So it's not being, so you may be getting debris, but it's not being lofted to an altitude where the radar is detecting the debris. So there could very well be a tornado in progress north of New Hulka. And I do think that the rotation is yeah, we're going to see we get a new scan there. Whoops. If I was going to say, looks like the inbound rotation looks like it's getting still pretty tight. That rotation's still pretty tight there, and I do think that couplet has a very good chance of holding together. I wonder if it's going to tighten up, or if it's going to if it's we're going to see if that wind shear and everything does hold together. That cell as it tracks into Tupelo, Mississippi here, and again. The way things are tracking, this could be this rotation will likely be right on top of Tupelo here, the Tupelo, Mississippi area. If you're not familiar with Tupelo, this is Elvis Presley's birthplace, if I'm correct, or where he lived. Oh, excuse me. Probably from all that talking. Oh, wow. I wonder if they have a new update. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Troy, 8 miles south of Pontotoc. Yeah, update to the tornado warning. They say that it's a considerable damage threat with this.
Okay, folks, you got to take this very seriously now. This is
again, I do think that the Weather Service is including that damage threat tag here. It might be a new CC scan, but this just now confirmed by the National Weather Service, tornado in progress. Okay, now look at this debris signature right here. You can see it now. You got a better perspective of it. A new scan there. Look, a distinct debris signature there. A potential large tornado that will be in the Troy vicinity here very soon. This is along Highway 15, State Highway 15 there, south of Algoma. And again, this will eventually be near Troy, Highway 41 towards Pontotoc. Again, this is in Pontotoc County. This is the city of Pontotoc there. This would be south. This would be about, I was going to say about 10 miles south of Pontotoc. I think a little bit less than 10. I don't have opacity there, so I'm not really sure if you got the county blocks within there, but I do think this is 5 to 10 miles south of there.
Yeah, folks, you got to seek shelter.
Yeah, for Tupelo, Mississippi, this rotation has really tightened up, and obviously, if that rotation does hold together, again, really healthy updraft with this. and you got again a really healthy wind shear further out ahead of this as well. So I do think that this, yeah, I was going to say the 42 against 37. I do think that would be at least wind shear that could be in excess of 80, maybe 70, or maybe even 80 knots.
Yeah, just getting some
So
reports coming down of power lines and trees been down.
yeah, I was going to say probably following some of the reports coming out of this particular cell. We've been getting quite a bit of reports. I again, like I said, this is more concerning here because this tornado is going to be tracking over a more populated area, and I'm going to point out that Tupelo and Bissell area. This is near where I believe the airport is located. There, the observation station. Okay, now if you look at this debris signature here, new scan. Looks like now we're down into the 80s, potentially the 70s there on the correlation coefficient, the percent there. And when you're getting stuff that low, that means we're getting potentially larger debris or larger debris within this. This could be probably about a quarter to half mile wide. And when you're talking, it's being lofted into an altitude that the radar's detecting this debris, and now we know this is a tornado in progress because there's debris with this, and this will be tracking into Tupelo here within the next 15, 30-ish minutes here. We'll kind of time it out here. It is tracking northeast here. It is tracking northeast here about 30 miles per hour. 30 to 35 miles per hour. And
yeah, folks, if you're just wondering now,
larger debris, even with this new scan, probably down below 70% on the CC. So this could be like larger tree branches, maybe solid objects like power poles, or let's just say a large concentration of solid objects and debris with this. And again, just I will say that there could be like roofs and or like structural damage and stuff being lofted in to this circulation here, and the radar's depicting it. So this could be larger debris, probably stuff that may be weighing quite a bit. So again, just anything that. Again, just large objects being indicated here on this particular couplet. So again, something that I am going to really pay.
So you need to be shaking some
Yeah.
shelter.
So once again, I will say Tupelo proper. Again, this is a developing situation. Tornado in progress. Will be tracking into Tupelo here within the next 20 minutes or so. We're going to time it out here once I get the chance to zoom out. But yeah, like I said, that rotation is really tightening up. A new scan here. Whoops, screen went dark there for a second. Yeah.
Your battery getting dead.
Oh, I had to plug up here. But yeah, so the dangerous storm, see that's where the tornado is in progress right now. Again, we're going to kind of track it out here. Whoops, I'm going to kind of zoom in here. But yeah, you can see, it still has to fetch some more CC data. Oops, so that's radar data from a while back. But this will be tracking into Tupelo proper, just north of there. Yeah, it's over Troy right now. This will be within the next 15 to 30 minutes here, give or take, for Tupelo proper. Yeah, I was going to say Tupelo, Pontotoc, Trace State Park, Tom Biggie State Park. Again, this is, confirmed destructive large tornado. And if you look here, tornado damage threat considerable. And again, if you look at that debris signature there, this is likely pieces of homes and like
Gosh.
structures and stuff that may be within there. Maybe it
So,
could be
folks,
cars.
if you're in this warning, you need to be in a safe spot now. You need to go to a
Once again,
basement.
yeah, again, I mean, probably the folks in Mississippi here, um, again, there's not too many basements. There could be, but I'm not really sure. But above or below ground, but if the below ground, if it's at your disposal, you got to be in a small interior room, lowest floor, away from the outside. Again, no upper floors or near windows or anything. No outside walls. Just you want to get into something really sturdy, small interior room. You don't want to be in a larger room, of course, because there's likely stuff that could turn into debris, or debris could
Hit you.
hit you. You want to get under something sturdy as well. So like a piece of sturdy furniture, like get under the couch, or the a strong, good bed frame. Also have it's just prevention. You might want to also have a helmet on and sturdy shoes
A bike helmet.
you have damage. Again, if you have if again, if the winds from the tornado are the hazard, but it's not just the winds, it's the debris, of course. So you do not want to be caught outside. Again, like I pointed out, there could be large debris that could hit houses, and again, like I said, with the winds and everything, with the tornado, mobile homes obviously are not going to be your best bet either.
No, you're not going to survive in a mobile home, folks. So you got to get somewhere immediately. This is a life situation.
Yeah. I will also point out, I think the northern area, I don't think that there's clutter there where there's lighter colors here. I don't think there could be, I don't think that's a debris signature there east of Pontotoc. But I do think that, yeah, this cell will definitely have the chance to recycle. Still a pretty good debris signature there. It's starting to clutter out there, towards where where there's where it's away from the storm base and such. But again, you still got that mesocyclone, that cell and everything. That structure has a really good chance of holding together. There's
Yeah, I
quite
think
a
it
bit of
will
wind
too.
shear and everything to work with. 38 against 40, that would be about 78 in terms of
Wow.
the gate-to-gate velocity that we've been looking at. And now the TVS, that's the vortex signature there. I was going to say average and maximum. So that's getting that's close to oh wow, it's been at excess of 89 knots, and then it's been
Goodness.
averaging about 53. So it's been cycling up at times, and I do think if it will have the potential to recycle as it tracks into Tupelo. And I was going to say the storm base. I wonder if it's lowering. I was going to say the storm tops here. This is a low top supercell that will be making its way into Tupelo here very soon. Yeah, I was going to say, looks like shear's about 42 knots with that. So that's definitely has a really good chance of holding together. That wind shear and everything. Once we're talking like 40 knots. This is potential low level wind shear for the most part there. That's the change of wind speed with respect to altitude and such. And again, that when you're talking like 40 knots, that's definitely pretty intense wind shear. When you're just talking about again, when it's like a speed shear where the winds are much stronger, but also I do think that's more on the account of directional wind shear that we've been seeing here too. Looks like obviously again, no longer a distinct indication that there's a larger debris being lofted there. It could very well still be on the ground of much of course. And you can definitely see the rotation has slightly weakened. Yeah, I was going to say the rotation is slightly weakened, but it is still it has a chance to recycle. Like I said, the outbound velocities are again, the shears a little under well, just right along this area. It's a little under 50
All
knots.
right, we got a new update came in, Isaac. At 9:34, a confirmed and largely and extremely dangerous tornado was over Troy, near Trace State Park, moving northeast around 40 miles an hour. This is a
This is
particularly dangerous
yeah,
situation. Take cover now.
yeah. So yeah, they're I don't think they've issued another severe weather statement yet. Let's see what we got. Okay, the tornado warning for Chickasaw was dropped. But yes, I do think that the tornado is still likely in progress. There we go. Okay, yeah, still an indication there of a large and dangerous tornado. The rotation is slightly weaker, but you can definitely see the TVS and everything still looks like it's holding together. You got wind shear near further aloft there near. I do think over 70 knots. In terms of just right over here, 70 knot gate to gate shear, and it looks like it's slightly tightening up. New scan there. Yeah, I was going to say it's maybe slightly starting to tighten up there, and it definitely looks like it's in the process of what could be recycling there. And
Folks, you better take this seriously.
yeah, definitely. And again, it's tracking into the environment there. I was going to see what I'm interested in seeing what the surface observation is, because this if this continues the way it's heading, you got a hook that's forming there. That is going to be right on top of Tupelo. That Tupelo definitely could very well take a direct hit from what could be obviously a tornado in progress at this particular moment here. Again, it's still Weather Service is saying it's confirmed. It's on the ground. This will be right on top of Bissell, western part of Tupelo. Here, this will be within the next 15 minutes, maybe even less than that. Yeah, again, the couplet's right over here. That could be the new scan coming in from radar, but it could be a couple minutes old. It's tracking at about 30 to 35, a little bit over that miles per hour. It's right over here, but it could be closer to Lee County right now. So again, next scan will probably take it further here. Okay, the scan here. Yeah, I was going to say that was at 9:35. So if it's averaging about the storm motion is averaging there. Again, okay, that's 9:35. I was going to say the velocity scan or the couplet here could be closer into Bissell here. It'll probably be within the next 5 to 10 minits. Folks in Bissell and Tupelo here, that storm looks like that the rotation and everything looks like it's definitely starting to recycle. We got some stronger outbound velocities there, and that could turn into a mess. That could turn into your rear flank potentially. And I'm going to see if there's any. I was going to say, it's averaging about 45 now. So I do think.
All right, folks. Isaac, now it's booking up at 40 miles an hour. So this is a large tornado, folks. You need to go to a safe spot immediately. Do not wait, right, Isaac?
Yeah, the parent tornado is probably tracking about 40 miles per hour. So
it's booking at 40.
Yeah, I was going to say the storm motion is increasing. And that could mean several things as well, because again, you're still working with again, it's going to really help this rotation and everything here. And again, like I said here, if it has a chance to slow up, you'll be coupling in with more inflow to work with. But I do think that the winds and everything will still be very concerning. It looks like it's starting to tightening up. It's starting to tighten up a little bit again. It's starting to recycle, and once again, I'm going to see if we have any more notable debris signatures here. Doesn't really look like any. I think that could very well be debris there. And again, I don't think it's encapsulated within the reds and the orange, the yellows, but still, I do think that looks to be debris in the form of trees and such, probably because, again, it's over a predominantly rural area. Obviously, earlier it tracked over New Hulka, up towards Troy. And again, that's where there's more urban like a slightly higher urban population, but this is where there's more trees and it's more like, like there's not as many houses and structures out here. So you're probably not going to get much on a debris signature, but the tornado is probably still on the ground there, and the rotation is tightening up. So again, this is
All right,
why.
folks, this is a tornado, a life situation. So now it's time to move to your safe spot. Make sure you have a bike helmet and you're protecting yourself from flying debris. This is a dangerous situation.
Yeah, I will also point out, the rotation has been tightened up. Looks like it's a little bit broader here with this particular scan here. It's a little bit broader, but that still is a strong rotation by all means here, because you got at least 40 to 50 knot outbounds, and at least 40 outbounds, maybe a bit less than that. But now we're starting to, we've been seeing it recycle here. It'll still have it'll have it may be. Okay. Let's see what we got. 42 against 40. Oh, that's I would say shear, broader wind shear is in excess of about 82 knots. So gate to gate shear. So
here's something else here.
That is going to that is eventually going to recycle and make its way right into Bissell and well into Tupelo, or west part of Tupelo. Definitely, especially west part of Tupelo. Hunker down. This could very well be a direct hit, if it remains underground. We'll have to keep a close eye on it. But new scan really has it tightening up. So we'll have to keep a really close eye on that.
Okay.
So you have any other reports to pass along here?
Well, I'm looking around. So far, I really haven't had any new reports on this on the tornado warning right now or anything like that, but it looks scary to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's been tightening up at times. We'll definitely need to keep a really close eye on it. We're going to keep it on here for now, but give me a few minutes. I'm going to see what the Twitter feeds and everything say. Yeah, it's definitely starting to recycle. Okay, NWS severe. We're still keeping a close eye on the complex storms in Kansas as well. I do think we're going to kind of keep it here because this is a developing situation here.
Okay.
I was going to say not really much on CC, but it still looks like it's starting to recycle. Yeah, you got maximum gate-to-gate shear of about 82 knots.
Wow. Here's mine.
This is making its way towards Highway 6 here. It'll be just a few minutes. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. For some reason my audio driver was acting up. You have a different color palette than I do, so it's slightly different. But yeah, that rotation, outbound velocity is really tightening up with that. In excess, we got winds in excess of 50 miles an hour, several thousand feet off the ground there. But wind shear is in excess of, like I said, 80 knots at times. So we'll really want to keep a really close eye on it.
Okay.
I'm going to turn open the window real quick. I'm going to see if we have any other local storm reports. Excuse me. Looks like out in Iowa and Kansas, still, we got a nasty Boeing segment here up in central Kansas here. Looks like we have potential for 60-mile-per-hour gusts that'll be tracking through haze and such later on. Trying to see if we have any official damage or injury reports to pass along. So that'll definitely be helpful.
Important.
Yeah.
We've been on it for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. You got some widespread damage out of Yazoo, Mississippi. Looks like trees uprooted and mobile homes destroyed, people trapped in a home with the Terry, Mississippi storm, the tornado that hit Hinds County. We've had hopefully we got some rescues, possible injuries with that. Widespread damage reported in Yazoo City. Emergency managers reporting it's like trailers flipped over, land spout, blew garage doors. That would be that's well into Hamilton. We've had a couple reports up there towards Nebraska as well. Calhoun City, trees down and power lines down just outside of Calhoun City. Rotation noted. Yeah, we already got that one.
Want me to change the color to purple?
We're not in high priority or emergency feed right now, unless unless this becomes a active tornado emergency. I don't know if that's going to happen. Or I don't expect we'll go into lockdown or anything. I was going to say now we're getting some intense shear indicators there around 60 to 70 knots against 30. I was going to say still about 80 knot shear with that. Yeah, that is crossing into Lee County right now, this really strong couplet. And
wow.
New update here from the Weather Service. Still confirmed large and extremely dangerous. National Weather Service says it is it is in Tupelo now. You can see on radar, it's right here as of 9:45. But like I said, the radar may show it over here, but that was a scan that was 2 minutes ago. It's right in. It's probably in the west part of Tupelo right now. Like I said, it's right on top of you in Tupelo. A tornado in progress.
In Tupelo needs to be shaken shelter immediately, folks.
Yeah, sure. Oh, now there's debris signature again. A really distinct debris signature with that. And
here, if you live in Lee County or anywhere in that debris signature, now's the time to get centered and get covered immediately, folks. This is a life situation.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks like it's tracking a little bit towards Tupelo proper. So again, I'm going to say that it's very possible that this is on track. Once again, I will say this is on track to impact Tupelo directly. And again, the rotations, again, it's showing it right here, but that was a scan, like I said, from a little under 3 minutes ago. It's
wow.
Right on top of Bissell, right on top of Tupelo. This is the airport in the Tupelo area. And again, there's definitely some residential neighborhoods here in the west side of Tupelo. And I think the downtown area of Tupelo is in the eastern part of the city here. But once again here, again,
If
given
you
the
live in that
scope of what we're
area,
seeing,
you want to get centered, want to put a helmet on top of your head and protect yourself from flying debris. And even put a mattress between you, right, Isaac? That should help, right?
yeah, definitely just hunker down, get in the small, centermost part of your home. Again, just get away from windows. Again, get under something sturdy. Again, looks like yeah, I was going to say, like I said, it's tornado is in progress. There's some larger debris within that. I think the western residential neighborhoods of Tupelo and Bissell. Um, Again, hunker down, get under something sturdy. Um, get a helmet, some boots if you got them.
Yeah, because you don't want to go barefoot in this situation, folks. Because what could happen, glass and gosh, who knows what? Then you have to go to the hospital and get a shot, right?
Well, yeah, those are like more like tetanus shots and stuff, right?
Yeah, we
But
don't want that.
they'll have like again, you probably got shrouds of glass and stuff everywhere. You never know. Um, and But yeah, like I said, this is on track to impact like residential Tupelo area proper. So we need you in Tupelo to hunker down. Tupelo getting hit again. Just trying to see what the other, if we got any other reports out of that area. Let's see if we get any new scans here that take it further in. Wow, it's yeah, still tightening up, a little bit broader, but still, it's definitely tornado in progress. The rotation is still um, definitely still evident there. It's over Tupelo right now. It's a little bit closer to Bissell though than the central parts of Tupelo, western parts of Tupelo.
Yeah, Isaac, I
Mississippi.
just got a new marker just popped up here. It's a red one, so there could be some more rotation again with this. So let me
It's
take a
closer
look.
to the base.
Let me check that out.
The
Look at that.
rotations, the cycling's a little bit closer to the base, or that's on the back. That's on the rear end of that. Um,
We still got this tornado warning that goes in effect, I think, until 10 p.m. This storm has been pretty significant.
yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, Bissell is actually a neighborhood of Tupelo,
Wow, I didn't
so it's
even know
over
that.
Tupelo right now.
So yeah, there's another debris ball over here again, Isaac. I'll show you. Just popped up on my computer. There's that debris ball right there.
Yeah, it's definitely still there. We got more folks tuning into us. Um,
That's good, I guess.
well, yeah, like I said, for those of you guys just now joining us, a large and extremely dangerous tornado is in progress. This is right on top of the western parts of Tupelo. Bissell is actually, I think it's annexed into Tupelo. So a lot of the western residential areas in Tupelo are getting hit as we speak. Obviously, it shows it south of Highway 6 right now. It's more on top of Highway 6, probably closer into Tupelo. Probably the western, maybe northern parts of town probably could get really hard hit with this. I'm going to see if we
Okay.
have any other. I wonder if I got the spotter network place files here. I'm going to see if we do have any folks trying to see if we can get more spotter reports out of this area. Oh, it's
And there,
actually an error loading or
yeah,
something.
we got to update. Very tight rotation again, Isaac. This is really tighten up.
Yeah, definitely has. Again, large tornado in progress. Western and northern Tupelo, Mississippi, take immediate tornado precautions. Um, Also, still concerned about the folks
All right, new
in Prentice,
tornado warning again.
yeah, Prentice County into
Looks like this is
Fulton
a
County.
tornado emergency, Isaac.
Tornado emergency. Okay. Um, yeah, let's see what we got here.
Here, I'll read it, okay? At 9:52, a confirmed and large destructive tornado was located near, it starts with Tupelo, moving northeast
Yeah, it's
at
Tupelo.
Tupelo is moving northeast down 45 miles an hour. A tornado emergency for Tupelo. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. A deadly tornado. Radar has confirmed. Folks, you got to listen to this, or this could be a life situation. So please take cover now, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Once again, tornado damage threat is catastrophic. We'll have lots of developments here with this, so we're going to have to. Okay. Like I said, okay, I'm going to see what the debris. Yeah, I was going to say good debris signature right now. It's moving right into Tupelo. Large tornado hitting western and northern parts of town here right now. We need everyone to really hunker down. Again, this is very dangerous situation here. Give us 1 second. Again, like, please, again, for folks in Prentiss County, Tishomingo County, and obviously rest of Lee County, we need you in shelter now. Tupelo, avoid the area or hunker down. We need you in shelter. Lowest floor, small interior room, get a helmet, boots, get under something sturdy. Again, this rotation is held together. It is going to be tracking into Tupelo proper here very soon. And it's right on top of residential neighborhoods in Tupelo now. So if you're in Tupelo part, again, the town itself, the western and northern parts of town will probably be particularly hard hit. So we need you to really take your precautions.
Yeah, I mean, folks, you got to take this very seriously tonight. If you
Yep.
don't listen to me and Isaac on this one storm, you could get injured or die from this. This is a typically deadly tornado.
Correct. Yeah, like I said, I'm still monitoring some of the reports out of this area. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to see if the debris signature there. Yeah, I was going to say that is going to be right on top of Tupelo there. We've had lots of the western residential neighborhoods definitely hard hit. Bissell is actually a part of Tupelo. So these are residential areas that are being impacted right now. Once again, I cannot stress enough. You got to have your please take your precautions. And again, we don't. Again, tornado emergencies are rarely declared. Again,
Yeah,
it's because it's a
a
highly
life
urban area.
situation.
Yeah, right.
So if you're in, if you live in any of these, if you live in Dennis or any of these communities here, or in this tornado emergency, you got to take cover, folks. This is not the time to go out there and chase these tornadoes. It's going to be dark. That's number one. You're not going to see it, and this is a very large tornado. So the best places to be is in a concrete room on the lowest floor. Make sure you have flashlights. Make sure you have everything you need because this is a life situation.
Yep, Tupelo. I'm getting a better scope on this on radar. On
Okay.
radar scope here, gate to gate shear here, 60, yes, almost 70 against, yeah, 30 outbound. So rotation is definitely very strong. I
Wow.
do think wind shear could be in excess of gate to gate 90, maybe upwards of 100 knots. No,
Wow.
I'm not saying that is official. Just saying that is definitely what it's definitely looking like. And I'm looking at the CC here. I'm going to see what else we got. Yeah, like I said, there is definitely. I think this could be. Yeah, larger objects within there. I do think obviously this doesn't look like it's a wedge tornado. Like it could be in excess of a quarter, maybe mile wide. That will be. This could be downtown Tupelo, western side of Tupelo that could be hit particularly hard. Northern part of Tupelo looks like with every scan, it's been tracking closer and closer to like downtown or the central part of Tupelo. Again, we need everyone again in Tupelo hunkered down. This is a life
Yeah.
or this is like a life or death situation. Again, we need you in shelter. And again, if you lose us or whatever, have a radio or
Or
some
make sure
way
you
for.
have your tablet charged up. Then you can always hit our like button and you can watch us.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, uh, this is definitely a very healthy storm. It's been holding together for some time, and again, this tornado again could be long tracked into well into Tishomingo County and Prentiss and Inawaba County and the rest of Lee County as well. So uh, again, Tupelo definitely very hard hit. Um, I was going to say. Again, catastrophic damage to built homes or mobile homes could be overturned. We need you in a
Yeah,
site-built
folks,
building.
you do not need to be in a mobile home tonight. This is a life situation. These tornadoes could turn up the mobile home, so you need to get somewhere, go to a gas station or something like that. This is not the place to be.
Yeah, right. All right. Oh, it looks like the radar actually went out. Or no, it's actually my connection. It's probably doing it. See if
Okay,
I can fetch some
all right. I'm
new
checking some
data.
new data here. Some new data. Any new debris yet, Isaac, on this, or you don't see none quite yet?
Well, the GR level 3 kind of has it near 80% on the CC. There's definitely still debris with it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
looks like there's not really much of a debris signature. There's definitely still debris with it, and definitely it's right on top of the more populated areas of Tupelo. So it's not a matter of like it's definitely on the ground, and it's definitely very the rotation is still very tight with it. But once again, I will point out that yeah, the scan's right on top of Tupelo, and um, again, when you're not seeing as much on the correlation coefficient, the debris is still there. It's just not being lofted into the radar altitude. So I'm trying to get a new scan and some more information on here, but I'm not. I think it's having issues with the internet trying to fetch the. Okay, oops. Yeah, and again, that could be very well be tightening up. Yeah, that rotation's tightened up. I will say like, oh wow, that donut hole, like right, yeah, just right north of downtown. Lots of the residential neighborhoods and probably northern commercial districts definitely could be very hard hit. Right, it tornado likely hit from Highway 178 to Highway 145 intersection or State Highway 6. And obviously, this is U.S. Highway 45, and this is actually Interstate 22. This is going to be tracking pretty much right on top, or maybe a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say probably right on top of that intersection, um, and and seeing if there's any other like towns or anything that could be impacted as well. I know Tupelo is definitely very hard hit, but definitely
Yeah.
the folks, hopefully folks in Marietta, Mantashe, into Dennis, Belmont, the other areas in this polygon. Oops. Again, like hopefully you are taking your precautions now, getting out of non-site built structures or unstable outbuildings.
Buildings.
Again, you want to be hunkered down, basement if you got one, above or below ground storm shelter, um, lowest floor of a building, interior room, hallway, just a small area. Get under something sturdy, or at least have a helmet or something. Get low. Um, Again, I cannot stress enough. This is a very dangerous situation for folks in Tupelo, other areas in the Lee, Prentiss, Inawamba County, and Tishomingo County. So we're definitely going to be paying really close attention to this. Still, we're going to stick with this for a while. We have some other reports and such that we'll eventually have to pass along.
Yeah, I mean,
We
me and
have new,
Isaac are not fooling around, right? This is
yeah,
a
right.
life situation. This is a very dangerous situation. If you stay in a mobile home, you could die, actually, folks. So I would just try to go to a ground floor. If you have one of those basements outside, ground floors, you definitely need to be out there now. This is not the time to wait.
Mm-hmm. Right. And like I said, again, particularly hard hit will likely, I'm again, like the tornado itself is still in Tupelo, probably northern commercial districts and outskirts in the northern parts of town, but the damage has already been done uh, in uh, in the residential districts here in Tupelo. And once again, um, yeah, I was going to say, yes, still, I mean, there's lots of there could be injuries and such, and yeah, it's starting to tighten up again.
Wow.
Yeah, and this could be a very bad day out of Tupelo, and we're going to do our best to pass along any developments we get with that. And once again, I will point out we could have multiple reports of injuries, hopefully not fatalities. But again, this is a potentially deadly tornado that's been on the ground. We need everyone to take note of this dangerous situation. Um, Still trying to see if we have any other new developments with that.
Yeah, this is very bad, folks.
Okay, looks like they have updated the warning. I think they dropped the tornado emergency since it is not on top of Tupelo, but it's still in the northern outskirts. So the tornado is still on the ground, northern parts of Tupelo. Yeah, I was gonna. Oh, and we have some. Yeah, I was gonna say storm communities. Definitely lots of comments here. I'm gonna keep an eye on them.
Yeah, I got
Looks like
some
Tupelo
more
definitely
pictures of
taking the
tornadoes, Isaac. Can
direction.
I show
Yeah,
them to you?
yeah. Is this out of Tupelo or what?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a different picture, but I'm gonna pull it up on the camera here, man, our little thing, and I'll show you what it looks like.
All right.
Hey, let me. Can you see that?
Here, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that was probably obviously it's no longer much daylight to work with, so I think that's probably Yazoo City. You got a wedge in the distance. You can definitely see the distinct funnel, but again, hard to tell what debris you got further behind with the trees and such. But still, I think that's where you had lots of rotation, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
We do.
definitely very concerning situation there. We're gonna try and do our best to pass along damage reports and everything. Looks like the tornado. I thought they updated the. Here, I'm gonna see if I can get. Yeah, I was gonna say that I think they've issued another follow up to this warning. I'm gonna see what they officially have out. If you give me a second.
Tornado wind of 1045 here. This storm is still capable. It's a large and destructive tornado. So, just checking and see what our tools are showing. Um, I'll have you take a look at it, Isaac, on a different screen here. I'll have you take a look at it. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Oh yeah. Can you
And
kind
then
of zoom in closer
how
to
you think the
Tupelo?
next scans we have with it? Okay, let me zoom in just a little bit on you. All right, what's two below at down here? All right, there it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say you still got debris, a good debris signature probably with it.
Yeah, we still got a debris center with this spoke, and this is very dangerous. So you gotta take this very seriously tonight. We have a tornado warning goes in effect about 10:45, a tornado emergency, and you got to take this storm very seriously.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, yeah, it looks like it's in the northern outskirts in the northern commercial district of Tupelo right now, probably getting ready to track into areas such as Baldwin, Verona. I know it's already past I think it's they still got to issue the follow up to that warning, but yeah, definitely some of the other urban or some of the other small towns in the path of this definitely could be hit hard. Definitely need to watch out for areas in Marietta, Manatee, further into, I think, obviously eastern Prentice counties. I know there's.
I'm checking the SPC.
I wonder if they're going to issue a follow up to their watch. The watch just expired, so.
I was just going to see if they got any new ones yet. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay, anything different?
No reports yet, but I'm gonna see what else is going on social media. See if there's any other.
When more counties get added in, more counties get put in tornado warnings later.
Oh, here's a spotter report out of Tupelo. Fire department reporting tornado north of Veterans Memorial Park on the interstate. A tornado was spotted. Again,
Wow.
there will likely be additional reports of damage. We'll have to keep a very close eye on things here. Additional reports will likely come in here, so there will likely be other developments passed along.
Okay, that's.
Yeah, I mean, the rotation was definitely tight over Tupelo. It's broadening out. Looks like the tornado might be in its dissipating stages, but it may still recycle, produce again further into Wamba, Prentice, and Tishomingo. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that, but looks like mostly not as urban area. This isn't as urban, so that's definitely going to be good in terms of the impacts that we see with this particular cell.
In effect at 10:45, so.
Yeah, we'll try and keep an eye for damage reports and such. I know we have those other warnings out there. We're going to try and see if we get that follow-up here, if we have any other reports. Okay, I think they've just issued a follow-up to the warning there. Yeah, I was going to say still a considerable damage threat. Looks like the tornado emergency is no more. It's just a PDS. The still considerable damage threat, but the follow up here no longer tornado emergency wording with it. So 10-12, it's over Saltillo. This is going to be north of the Tombigbee State Park area. Fire department out of Tupelo. Again, tornado has been reported. So while the northern parts of Tupelo still impacted, you're not entirely out of the woods. But I do think that Tupelo proper, especially the west, I was going to say Tupelo proper. I think the threat, good to call it an all clear for Tupelo, the city of Tupelo proper. But like I said, still going to eventually be tracking into the Tombigbee and Tishomingo State Park areas. Um, some of these smaller communities up here, but again, the catastrophic damage threat, I think, for the most part, has passed. Yes, still the same fire department report. Again, I'm going to keep a very close eye on Twitter feeds and everything as we keep going. I do think the threat has passed. We're going to still.
All right, just got a report coming in now. That's just fun.
Yeah, that was the. I was going to say that was the fire department report out of Tupelo. We already got that. But yeah, I'm going to point out while there's still a considerable damage threat with that cell, looks like it's tracking into more of a rural area. We're going to definitely keep a very, very close eye on things. Could you continue coverage? I'm going to try and I'll definitely keep a close eye on some of the reports and stuff that come in, but we're not going to drop the live feed. But I'm gonna report. I'm gonna message you with any developments that I got, but I'm not gonna drop the feed. Could you keep things going here for a bit?
How long?
Oh well, just as long as you think it's good to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll pass. We'll do our best to pass along any other reports. We will see. I will see you soon.
All right, hold on a sec. All right, we're still tracking this tornado warning, and like I said, we got that one report of a tornado in the park of 22. So from spotter. Let me check in with the. Go in a little deeper, and you see this. Look at here, this huge couplet. You still have that tornado warning that goes in effect into 10:45. So I think when 10:45 passes, we will send things back to regular programming for a little while. But we want to stay with this tornado warning as long as we can. Very strong signs of rotation with this. So you got the. We'll enter in a little bit this, and you can see that sometimes you get that debris ball, debris gets lofted, and that's the problem when we get these strong signs of tornadoes. So we got that red spot there, that little marker. That's indicate we could see another possible tornado in Mississippi. So we will be here for the even hours, just see what's going on. Run through 10:45. I mean, right now, let me see what we got. So right now, what I'm going to do is let the storm animate here, and we will continue keeping coverage up. If we do see more likely of some more damage coming in from that couple more scans we get, we'll probably pop on to let you know again. But this storm really is still capable of producing a tornado. All right, now it shows So a couple scans are showing here. We put velocity in. There's that couplet red next to green. That is gate to gate sheared there. And we're almost at the 10:16 hour, and we're having storms. So we will continue to keep you posted. And I'll let radar set here, and we will continue to break in as we need to. All right, we got reports coming in. Looking for the chat right now on my phone. That was Skycam footage of the tornado coming through the downtown. I'm trying to figure out what that. Lots of power flashes with that one tornado. So that came on at 10:18, and it was a huge one, 1 mile wide. So just give me a second here. Alright, good evening, everybody. This is a live severe weather update. I'm Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you once again. Just getting another report with the storm. Still got the tornado roof turned off apartment building around the Highway 51 area. So, folks, we're getting reports of roofs been blown over. So, this is probably what the tornado did. So, definitely. And we getting more reports with this whole storm, so we'll take a look at the next thing, and I'll analyze this. And you can see storms are could continue to move in. That tornado warning would be canceled eventually, and probably just going into a radar indicated tornado. But I'm gonna still leave it on. Still, definitely there is some sheared there, red next to green, gate to gate sheared. So definitely that's something we need to be watching with the possibility of a small tornado. And here's the tool we use. And I don't see that blue color anymore. So that means we could not be seeing another tornado trying to spin up. But I'll be here long to pass along any advisories. So we will remain silent again. We will continue to keep you updated. Yeah, this tornado. Good evening, everybody. We have a new tornado warning that goes into effect into around 11:15 north central Lubbock County and north central Mississippi, north central Towashim County, and north central Mississippi, south central Planet counties, and north central Mississippi to 11:15. At 10:36, I confirmed a largely and extremely dangerous tornado was near Sandy Springs, or 12 miles north of Floating Moon Eastern 30. So hazardous tornado, and hazard this moving at 30 miles an hour. This is a typically dangerous situation, damaging tornado. This is a life situation again. So we'll zoom into this and change the velocity. Just the storm looks broad this time. So definitely that storm is still capable of producing some very strong wind shear, and we definitely need to be watching that. And you could just see all the colors. There, that's that blue spot. That could be a little bit debris again, so definitely we're going to have to watch that. So we'll flip back. We'll just send things back just in a little bit. It's only 2 tornado reports we had in place. Hold on just a second. All right, good evening, back with you. I'm Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you in the USA Severe Weather Network Center. I'm just going to pass along a few more reports with you while we're back on. I just got a report coming in here of some damage, intercept damage to 1435 and 176, trees down and traffic's signals down, and debris on the road, making impossible. So this is some damage that we're getting, folks. We have 3 markers of trees and trees blocking the road. So this has been a tornado that's been continuing. Probably the biggest one we went through. There's that sign of rotation right there. It's that tornado warning that goes in effect into 11:15. We will continue to watch that, and we'll check our tools again, correlation thing, and it just still shows me very little. It still shows we could have a tornado there, and we just keep on getting damage reports a lot. And it's just saying tornado on the ground from in the community. So definitely now we already had a report of a tornado on the ground. So that's where we continue to start telling you lots of reports are coming into the desk as you're getting reports of tornadoes on the ground. So a couple other cells trying to get going. I don't know if these are super cellular or they just stormed are trying to fire up, but I think the main line that when all these pushed into Mississippi today were the biggest ones we went through. So we will continue to keep you updated. I was just going to pass these reports along and we will keep you updated. Alright, folks, this is that tornado just hit down in Mississippi tonight. That Tupelo one down there in Mississippi. Look at this. This came from one of those sites on there. People posting stuff, and this is a tornado. That is a large tornado down there tonight, and that's still that tornado that we had. So this is a very large one. So this is why we're trying to tell you this even. Make sure you are taking these storms very seriously. So we'll switch back to right, zoom in. Let's get radar back up. All right, still got tornado warning that continues. So far, it's a large tornado. 11:15 p.m. that expired. Got a lot of reports coming in and seen from different communities. That's the thing. Let me check velocity, and the couplet is mostly all red, so this could expire eventually. I mean, unless it wants to cut back up, we will probably be in some good shape, maybe. So we got the tornado warning that goes through 11:15. Still watching stuff right now, and I'll pull up the tools we use here. It's broadening out every now and then. We'll just have to see how it does. So. All right, let's check the tornado warning. It still goes in effect 11:15, so I'll stay with you for a little while. But by the way, I was going to show you some more photos just came in again on Facebook, and hopefully this tornado warning will expire at 11 p.m. But 11:30, if it does, we'll try to keep live, drop the live feed. I just want to let you know, getting a lot of reports coming in now. So, showed you all that pictures. We got a lot of damage just came in this evening. And that must show that. A lot of people got Lots of big hits tonight. Trees are down. Now these are just... And you can see, here's some trees down in Mississippi here tonight, folks. And you can see all these branches down. That's a pretty probably decent tornado that did all that. So definitely, that's a problem when you start having that. So I'm just going to show you that. So we'll switch back, go back to the radar screen, and see. Tornado warning continues. I'm still waiting on the tornado warning to expire. So we'll pull up velocity. There's a little more trying to get tight again. All right, tornado warning continues 11:15. Let's see what we have in place. Still have a confirmed tornado, large tornado here, and see that thing is very tight. All right, just something updated. Let me take a look here. Now is a radar indicated tornado. So that means it could just be some rotation detecting, but there's a little bit of red next to green. I think it's not as broad than it was. So we will still need to be keeping that in mind. So what we're going to do is just hold on. All right, 21 tornadoes have been reported today. That's what work Storm Tracker N said. So that's some good news that actually happened. Once this tornado wind expires, about 11:15. I mean, we do have a. So far, I haven't got any more updates coming in, but I got a lot of photos. So, I mean, we're gonna the tornado wing's gonna continue to track. I mean, it should be weakening eventually. So, what we want to do right now is, since it's a radar indicated tornado and it's not an emergency one, we want to drop the stream. If we do get something significant, we will pop on to let you know. Stay tuned. We will get you through this and we'll break back in if we need to.